I was saying I started my own company a few years ago. Just wanted to, I'd say about 2015, wanted to get started. I've always been a writer. I've done a combination of freelance journalism about music and culture, and I took that to write advertising copy, web copy. I do a project for a marketing firm. I have a small business, and I have a small business that I write for, and I also have several other clients that I work with on resumes and any of their other professional content, because I also write new resources. So I use that so that people can use written content as a persuasive tool to enhance their individual and professional endeavors. Okay, so we have what are called the tools of engagement for any business. You'll have, first of all, social media. That's number one, of course, because it's the quickest, cheapest, freest. Blogs are also the quick, easy, cheap, fast. You can use WordPress, or I don't even think anyone uses Google anymore, but that. Of course, videography, depending on your individual skill level or someone that you can get for hire. Photography, of course, is always great again, it can be based on you or the race of a professional, and traditional media advertising. So that's definitely getting a banner, online print. Any of the rules of engagement or things that are tools of engagement are things that I would use to help you build content for that. And again, making sure your social media is consistent, direct, precise in terms of products and services you offer. Again, the blogs, keep them short, sweet, and to the point. Make sure that your videos are quick enough. Everything should be under a minute. Unless you're doing, of course, a tutorial, that's a little different. But everything should be, all of your social media videos should be under a minute, because those are typically the length. That's the maximum that you can do on Instagram. And it's also the time before I think people check out, especially when it's related to advertising content. Of course, having original photos is excellent, or having ones that you know that you can successfully use. And with traditional media advertising, all those things come into play, and you'll have some scripting, have a setting, determine where and when you'll advertise. So those are, of course, the top tools of engagement. And now we have unprecedented access, as we talked about. And I want to talk about specific things that would work for your particular area. So, of course, it's really important that people see a post every single day, if at all possible. It's at least not during, if not every single day, on every business day. That's really important to see that people are engaged. It can be something as simple as a photo with a positive message, in a particularly attractive background, even if it's not a photo. The most important thing I would say is avoid memes and things that tend to get really tacky. That's the first thing. And again, this is designed to make it quick and easy for no matter how busy you are, that you can come in and create really compelling content that tells your business story. It's always important to use original photos. I realize everyone can take a really strong phone photo. That's good as long as it looks as professional as humanly possible. If you don't watermark, use a graphic design software to put your name or logo inside the photo. That's a really important thing to do, so that your work isn't being just taken by someone else or misused. Make sure it's prominently in front of the business, whether it is, if you have a specific wall. There's for example, there's a makeup store in one part of Atlanta called the Glamatory. They literally have a glam wall, and if you see pictures of the glam wall, it's like a place where they take selfies, or the clients take pictures or photo shoots. When you see that, you know it's that specific business. That's a really good place to be. And making sure that it can't be cropped or adjusted, so there's no way to get around that this is yours. And that's really important to make sure that comes up as frequently as possible in your newsfeed. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat. Not a huge fan of Snapchat for business marketing, but again, it works for some people. If you have now if you use a public or celebrity Instagram page, you can do that for images if it's public, but make sure that you give it credit. Have a little line that says courtesy of Beyonce or whomever. Use fun little phrases, like if you say, style star, hair crush, fade style, we love this. Make it really apparent that while you maybe didn't create something, you have the resources to recreate it with clients. Like, this is a style we can do. We can steal this look or something to that effect, because it makes it fun, but it also gives your prospective clients or existing clients sort of an aspirational style, or something that you can use that as a sales opportunity for all the particular products or services involved in that particular look. I am a huge proponent of Grammarly. I can't stress that enough. And it's not because I feel like people don't lack a command. It's speed and multitasking gone wrong that causes people to make lots of mistakes. And it happens to absolutely everyone. So if you have the tools there, it will prevent you. Few things damage your image more than unintentionally having errors. I can't tell you how much, when people don't know the difference between your and yours and you are, and people, instead of plural, people make things possessive, and it really takes away from your professional image in a place that's really, and again, I know some people don't, it doesn't matter to some people, but to me it's everything. I care down to the last detail about how I can enhance the client's professional image. So I think about that constantly. But I wanted to tell you that you have free tools at your disposal, and that's the best one. And once you load it on, it pops up. Grammarly pops up. I don't know if anyone has already used it. It pops up on all of your social media tools that you use. You plug it in and it pops up in all your email and social media. And it also gives you a weekly report on your usage, which I find really fascinating, because it will tell you that you have a better vocabulary than 85% of your fellow users. It shows you certain patterns to avoid redundancy, which is important, because while you want to reinforce your products and or brands through search engine optimization, which is, of course, the ways that you repeat brands and popular keywords to enhance your standing in a Google search in particular, you don't want to be totally redundant. You don't want to use the same phrases over and over and over again, because again, it gets boring for the reader, and that's really important. I would say make short, visually attractive, and appealing posts for your current clients and things that they'd like to see again. If you see that they have a particular interest in a certain style or a certain fashion trend or certain kind of product interest, make sure that that's reflected. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I know there are definitely other areas that we can unpack to that, but I would say these are the ways to maximize your unprecedented access to clients through social media. You already know it's really important to use all the tools at your disposal, whether you have Salesforce, and I will get into that later. I think Salesforce is absolutely phenomenal. Find your targets, reach your market, turn the proverbial lemon into lemonade. And if you do this style or you do this color, let everyone know that you do this, and this is something that this is part of your capabilities, but you didn't own the queen bee image. But it's great to have her in everything. It just works that way. But so that was one of the big tools. Again, these tools will help you access things. Again, using again, like Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, Instagram Insights. They all help you measure your performance down to the most granular level. If people respond to positive quotes, make sure you use that. You know who said it, definitely attributed. If something comes from Coretta Scott King's story, you know it's from her. Just make sure that it is matching your base again, and that it is an image that is public. It's an image that is a good fit with the message. And again, it's a quick way to get some really effective views. The most important thing I'm finding also is to build community. Stay plugged into who your audience is and what they talk about. I know that there's what they call shop talk. See that you're engaging them and that you're giving them a discussion that they wouldn't get elsewhere. Another important thing for any kind of regular media, set an editorial calendar. And it doesn't have to be a huge endeavor. Think of things that you would like to post at different times of the week. For example, Fantastic Friday. Match your content on your editorial calendar to the days. And then in the beginning of this, you'll have to pick up momentum in order to see this, but match your content to the times that you know there's the highest amount of insights and traffic. When you get a high amount of some people get an extraordinary amount of views in the beginning of the week. Make sure you have content then that they find appealing. If some people like around noon, people like to read blogs for lunch. Make sure you have something ready for them at that time. And so you'll definitely get a feel for that for using your social media insights and your Google Analytics. Pick up specific topics and post regularly, of course, as we discussed, making them quick, easy, accessible. If you're noticing that suddenly there's a new trend, make sure that you have that and find a quick way to incorporate that into your post and see how it links to your products and services. Most important thing, stay up to date. There's nothing worse than, I think, looking at a business and seeing that their social media and blogs haven't been updated for 2 years. It just indicates that it's something to look at, but it looks like they're not really engaged. And it looks like and you're missing opportunities because people, it's every time that you don't your ranking falls lower in terms of Google searches. And it'll make you harder to find in some instances. You want to have places that place higher in search engine optimization, and you keep a fresh stream of new business to roll into your loyal customer base. Another thing is always stay positive. I know that there are lots of opportunities to address some pertinent issues. Definitely just keep it up. Don't resist the temptation to make any direct references or kind of throwing shade, as they say. which could actually work if you do it really right, but it's a really, really, really fine line. You know, like we saw the Pepsi challenge historically, and while that was effective, it resulted in it went with the idea that they never said anything hostile about Coke, and it never got ugly, for example. And that's just one of the old school examples of advertising. Definitely keep it up and emphasize the ways that your product or service is superior to competitors without saying so directly. Say that the ways we service and the ways that we see that some people are not being served, and have you had this experience where you waited this amount of time only to have this happen? And here at our business, we don't let that happen. We operate in high levels of attentiveness, and those are the ways that you put that into your content so you can say it directly and gives people some reassurance before they even sit down. So that is just one way. So you're always in control of your message. You're always telling people what you have to offer, and the communication is always there. Rather than, I think the worst thing you can do in this day and age of Yelp is to not have a message and not be in control of it, and you have an outdated blog, an outdated website, an outdated social media, and then people take control of your message through Yelp, and that's what you don't want to do. Now, to get into some more specifics about content creation, I am a strong proponent of using, I'm a fan of course, Adobe Photoshop, Pixlr, and Canva. Research the quick, easy ways that you can use free graphic design software. That way you can come in, you can refine the images that you've taken, you can add your messaging on the images, and make sure that you have something simple, quick, and unique to offer all of your potential customers and existing customers. Again, it's a matter of keeping an attractive pace and keeping something that is has the maximum amount of visual and social appeal. And there are quick, easy ways to do it, and this is some of them. And again, it's based on your comfort level of using, but I find Canva and Pixlr to be particularly really easy. In terms of the ways that you can take a photo, you can upload it to the blog, you can upload it to your actual website, or you have really good social media tools that work in all of the aforementioned sites, because you have a constant impact, and that, again, you are in control of your narrative, and sometimes, as the old adage says, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and a really attractive image does a lot to counteract potential media noise. So I would definitely advise you to look into that. For compelling writing, number one, keep it short and simple, as we said before. Picking relevant topics while avoiding offensive language. And of course, we don't just mean offensive language in the sense of obvious four-letter words, but just the things that would not be offensive to any particular group or type of people, things that don't have the potential to slander competitors. So those are the things that you'd like to avoid. Just, again, keeping the language positive. And positive can also mean, for example, there's a particular hair campaign, I don't want to get too far into it, but just things that the focus was kind of negative. People talking about what they don't like about themselves, which has a feel that is not the most positive, has a feel that it misses the mark. And when you see advertising that misses the mark, you definitely see it. So definitely err on the side of being positive, upbeat, and reinforcing your brand. take a really fun, easy kind of headline and build it with a few supporting ideas. Say, hey, one of the things I did recently is, yes, you need sunscreen. Really fun, simple, to the point. We're dealing with summer. And then I bolstered it with some facts. I did a little research reading and just indicated how some natural oils and plant-based oils have sun protection properties. If you don't, I'm not an expert, I'm not a skincare expert, so I added in some links to some other resources for people to read. And that's really important. Add links. Link within other legitimate news sites, and link within your past posts. Because the more you create links, especially to your past posts, it keeps people on your site longer. It definitely reduces the bounce rate and gives people things to chew on. Especially when links come within, especially when you link to images within from your past site. Obviously, insert your brand or product name without turning everything into an ad. Sort of insert it as a matter-of-fact kind of way that this contains coconut oil, or this contains, it's always a link back to your product. Make sure that it's kind of woven into everything, so it's a matter of restating your purpose in a post, even if it's not just buy this and it's not just about a product introduction, but just keep them in there. And you may want to name your fan base. It sounds kind of silly, but it actually works. I think Little Monsters. Lady Gaga's fans are called Little Monsters. So if you have a business, you want to say, hi, stylistas, or, hi, modern queens, or anything like that, that helps a lot and helps more than you think. There's a reason why it has grown in popularity over the years. So it helps identify people as a part of a community. And in these highly niche-driven online communities, it makes a big difference. So I would just say kind of have fun with that and give that a shot. Say lists are really good. Here's an example. This is just an example. This is from InStyle magazine. However, take a list and relate it to your customer base. Use, for example, top 10 fashion trends, top 10 summer sandals, easiest summer hairstyles, and it's a fun way to maybe engage your customer base. Ask if they'd like to provide photos or take recent photos of things you did. Add it in, there you have it. It's a good place to place product inside these ads. If you have a slideshow, it's excellent advertising that you sneak in. So that's a quick way to create content ideas. And also a quick motivational post in the photo, as I mentioned. Just keep it up regularly. I highly recommend Salesforce. Salesforce has incredible database management tools for all the details about your customer base. It also it's easily very highly customized. You have wonderful representatives that you can talk to that will give you the best ways to customize a program specific to your needs, goals, objectives, and also you can extract information from Salesforce directly to your website or blog, depending on, again, what you have has a passive. That's how I was able to build customer landing pages for when I worked for the online Yellow Pages, which is now known as YP, but it was the Yellow Pages. And it was a really critical tool in building content, because that way you can get, if you are at a place where your business has sales representatives or a sales team, you can get the newly extracted or rather newly acquired sales information directly into your media content, so you can customize your content based on what you have from there. for example, if you know that your base is ultimately women between the ages of 18 and 34, you don't know how to directly market to that base based on the averages and demographic information. So it's an excellent tool to have. I'm a fan of Constant Contact and MailChimp, of course, the email tools for newsletters, location events, product events, all those are great. Newsletters follow the same content as blog posts. Keep them with some degree of regularity, once a week, once a month. Make sure that it keeps up with salon developments and/or business developments, product developments. Have a tool in Salesforce has ways that you can build a birthday reminder. I know a lot of customers are huge fans of getting a happy birthday message or come see us at this time, and if it's in your budget to give them a small free gift, by all means do it. So those are really quick content tools that you can use to show that you're thinking about them. So again, those are your easiest, quickest, cost-effective tools to do that in.
Shannon?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm so sorry. There was some kind of feedback. Could you kind of start over with that, answering that question?
Okay, I wanted to say thank you again. I wanted to say first of all, find an easy way to show up based on social media. Have a really good lead-in to an image. For example, one of the things I do is Monday motivation. Have a really good positive quote over an attractive image. And answer questions that that reflect the discussions happening in your business. If you overhear someone talking about interest in natural products, for example, plant-based, incorporate that into a post. Say, we know that natural products matter. Here's a list. So that's a simple way to show that you heard them, that you're engaged, and you can do it quickly and simply using social media and using Grammarly, which helps you detect any potential errors in getting your point across. And don't have too many words. I know it sounds kind of how should I put it? Having fewer, err on the side of having less than more. Just get to the point. You don't have to go into these overly descriptive, lengthy posts to get your point across. Just keep it clean, keep it simple, but just do it regularly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I'm open to questions. I just want to make sure it was clearly and everyone can hear me. So that should be about it. That was in a nutshell. Does anyone have questions or?
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to open the lines up, so anybody who doesn't have a question, if you could put your phone or your computer on mute, I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines for questions.
Hi, I have a question about social media posting. So if I just feel super overwhelmed, this is not a project that I want to take on, but I know I want it to be a part of my business marketing. How much should I be investing, like, as a small business? Are there people to take on this task? And then what's the cost for, like, what would be the cost for someone making, stuff like you talked about today?
Okay, that is great. That's a great question. There are people like me and people who do social media marketing and content marketing, and I would say start off with a search, inquire with people you know, other business professionals that you trust, and ask what they did about their marketing campaign. The budgets vary based on your needs and based on what you have allocated as your marketing budget. For example, if you say that I'm only going to allocate $250 a month, reach out to a copywriting service and ask what that will get them, for example. Because there are lots of ways that you can go and find copywriting services. That's largely what I do. I take on a project based on what fits into the budget. Based on if you have a really limited budget, of course you won't have constant everyday full service, but I can do enough, for example, or a person similar to this can do enough that it would still be impactful and give you things that you can reuse, retweet, repackage, repost. And that's really important too, to have someone that creates something original and things that you can use for months on out. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Or?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. In copywriting and content writing, wow, okay, good point. They are similar.
So what if you're having someone like write the content and post it for you?
Okay, so you're going to have like, right, you're going to have a content person, you're going to have a team or have an individual that holds on to your password and logs it in for you. Again, it'll be contingent upon your budget. Like, it'll be contingent upon your budget on what you negotiate with them. Say, for example, you have $250 a month. That gets you weekday posts and a few designs and social media campaign, and that would be it. Now you have larger promotions that require more details, more time and planning. You negotiate how you would work on that particular piece.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
So, like, when you're, like, marketing to your existing clients and you're, adjusting your prices and your existing clients already know what you're capable of doing, but now they have to, adjust to a price increase. Like, of course, then they're probably not going to be happy because they were probably okay with what they were paying or thought that the price was already high enough. And how do you get your existing customers to adjust to that? I mean, is there like a perfect timing? Do you give them like a 30-day notice, or do you like let them know because as far as with your education increasing and you find out you're worth more than what you are actually charging, how do you adjust your existing customers to that?
That is a really good point. And the best way to do it is just to do it. See that it's incorporated in your menus, in your sales media. For example, if you have it on your website, you really, because I've had to do this in the past, and I've put together a newsletter or an email post that would say, these are the new rates, and one of my customers said, I know when you say new information, I know that means it's going up. And I said, I understand, but at the same time, we're offering more service. We're better able to reach people. Always position it from the perspective of selling the benefit. Don't directly say that the price is going to post it sort of matter-of-factly, like this is the new reality. Just post the prices as they are, as they've gone up. But emphasize quality, emphasize service, and emphasize the ways that you are significant to their experience. I think that's really, you will lose some people along the path, but there are some people that recognize value when they see it, and they'll come on board. So the most point is don't belabor the point, just get it out there and emphasize why you're great.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an app that you would recommend or you would suggest for your calendar post?
An app for a calendar post.
Instead of, like, I need to do my posting ahead of time and then have them to come out at later times, at later dates and times.
Okay, so you wanted to schedule them.
Yes.
Okay, scheduling posts. The thing I used most frequently was Hootsuite. So it's Hootsuite, Hotsuite. That allows you to post simultaneously to multiple social media, for example. I use it sometimes I don't. And the reason why I don't always use it is because sometimes you want to have different messages for different media, but again, it's totally up to you and your purposes. But I would say that's your best one-stop shop because that can have the same images and messaging for all your social media and also add a link to your blog or website. So that's definitely going to be your best bet to get everything done in one fell swoop.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I love Instagram more than all. I think it's because Instagram is, of course, image driven. And I think that people tend to like what they see right away. And I feel like you can form a community really quickly on Instagram. I think picking clear, attractive images that you can use legally. Now, another thing also, if you use a repost, use repost or rebrand. Make sure you attribute that. Okay, finally.
The app for I think it lets you schedule your Instagram post ahead of time.
Okay. Got it. That's another one. Because you can use Instagram within Hootsuite, but I tend to do Instagram individually just because of all the ways you can pop in all the hashtags, ways you can have that. But again, this is something I'll try. It's just not something that I've used.
Okay.
So I've got that. I'm going to say use repost, rewear, make sure you attribute your images. If you use something else, and use lots of, just to actually make your content work, use lots of relevant hashtags. And again, I know this is typical of people who use Instagram regularly, but it makes a difference. I was skeptical about that. I always thought that it would look a little bit crazy, but as long as they're relevant and they're also general, they come up pretty quickly in a search. You look at how many people have it, how many rise to the top, how they're recent, and it really does help people come to your site. But I will definitely try plan only.
I haven't used it. It's just something that's been suggested in the past.
Okay, and I'll give it a shot.
Are there any other questions?
Yes. Are there any other social media outlets that you would use other than Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter that you think are popular or relevant?
I would say Pinterest, because again, Pinterest is visual. And from the demographic information I know about Pinterest is really appealing to women over 30. if that's part of your client base, that would probably be a good idea to incorporate that into your plan, because you can post visuals, you can also post blogs, and you can also share things from other resources that you can use legitimately that would be appealing. But that would be probably it. Even though Pinterest is a little bit smaller than some of the other social media outlets. I think Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are top. Facebook and Instagram, of course, too, because they own Instagram. And I highly recommend all of those, but that would be your next bet. If you're a person, millennials like Snapchat. If you have a millennial customer base, I would suggest that. But I don't know. I'm not a personal fan of it, but again, the kids like it.
My understanding about Snapchat is it's good for event or geographic promotion when you actually need people to arrive or do something at a moment.
Absolutely. That does indeed, that totally makes sense. Like when you're having a grand opening or a promotional day or party, that is a good idea for that. And hi everyone, I'm just here at my, just a quick snap of my online portfolio. I have a combination of editorial articles and promotions. Most of this is, I edited a book. So that's another thing that I do. I have some things about arts and culture. I'm a freelancer for Creative Loafing Atlanta, but I also have done a variety of websites, including a site called wimp.com, which is driven toward family-friendly content, but it also contains a lot of lists and tips, which are really good. And I chose this one about one of the things we all know about wrapping your hair in a t-shirt to get the ideal curls and frizz minimization. But that was something that was not apparent to their editorial team, but it was something that I am familiar with based on personal experience, but it ended up going really well. Okay, you can reach me via email at shannonb_atl@outlook.com. I am also available by phone.
And while you're doing that, I don't know if you caught this question. What's the difference in a content writer and a ghostwriter, or is there a difference?
Yes, there is a difference. A ghostwriter is someone that it's for longer form content. Typically, a ghostwriter is someone when you write something as a business owner and you hire someone else to write the words for you, but your name is on it. That's a ghostwriter. That's a ghostwriter is something that say you have a book, or you have a book idea, or you have speeches to deliver, or anything else that you have that you don't have the name of the actual author, but you as either the entrepreneur, business owner, or other leader, you present it as it's something that you wrote, but you just had it written by someone else. So that would be a ghostwriter. Content writers in general don't have their names on the content. Because if you go to any particular website that you really enjoy, there's typically no name that shows that it was written by a content writer, but it's just someone that produces site content or sites, blogs, anything that you need for your site, and they do it regularly, and it won't have their name on it. I like Eventbrite because Eventbrite is easy and accessible.
Yeah, and also with Eventbrite, you can it promotes for you. Mm-hmm. So it will tell people who may be interested in your event about your event. I know I used Eventbrite in the past a lot, and I noticed the difference when I stopped using it and I've started back using it because of the extra promotion that it provides.
That sounds like a good plan, and it is a good way to incorporate other content. For example, a good way to add in information about your product and brand in advance of event. Yeah, in advance of an event. Oops.
Are there any other questions?
How long should ebooks be? Ebooks are related to, based on your goals and strategies. I would say not too long, unless you're writing a memoir, if you're writing something that is a business how-to guide. The book I edited was it was less than 300 pages, so it was not too long at all, actually. So, and it was a guide on office etiquette. So that was the book I did for. See if we should be able to grab it here. I did this for Amazon.com. So it's and it's online and in physical form. So this is really, this one was really tiny. I'm just saying in total, we started off with significantly more, but it's only 67 pages. So I highly recommend the less than 100-page ebook because it makes it easy, accessible, and the most important thing is you want to have something that people reference the information more than once and use it as if you could pull out content and quotes from the book and use it for your other content posts. Use it for, plug it into social media posts, plug it into a blog. So it gives you a source to keep going back to. Yes.
That's a good idea.
It is negotiable based on the links and promotional activities. So thank you for asking.
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Okay, she asked, and I apologize if I didn't say something else. Do I have a service to write an ebook?
Oh,
and
okay.
It is based on the links and objectives.
Shannon, you've been very informative. Thank you for leading this call. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you all for getting on. You all had some excellent questions. You're definitely the kind of clients I like to work with. I love people who are engaged and know what they want. You're the best possible client. I don't sell a guide on how to write an ebook, but that's something we can consider.
All right. Tell us one more time how we can get in touch with you after this call.
Yes, you can contact me at Shannon, SHANNONB_ATL @outlook.com. That is my best way to get me on email, and I am also on cell. I'm at 404-849-4828.
Okay, and thank you so much. We'll have your information also in our webinar library when we post this the archive of this call and this webinar on our members page. So those of you who are members of the Association of Natural Hair Care Professionals, this will be available for you on the website. So I thank you all so much for joining in on this call. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.